Chairman Nike Enzo so many tapa Chairman Nike a minor man council Mamencha Chairman on a Chairman Naya my boss hot trees
Ken Mamencha ye for near chef for an pay Mesa said ye free FIFA Club World Cup because Nyami ado mechna US Chelsea PSG. The first thing I'm a person me yeni is me acknowledge two clubs no. Ye share FIFA Club World Cup na se no. Na 32 clubs. Ano mu nyina akohie mu say omo ko fight for just one trophy. Ya ba do this stage Chelsea ni PSG akwa ko do final. The first thing you need to do is to acknowledge two clubs in a performance, most especially Chelsea. Me pretty sure say among 32 clubs e ko FIFA Club World Cup no. PSG ko final and said that nyankofo nwa bebre because of more recent performance no. But me sure say na o ka clubs ankofo te form so be ko final nipa do amfa Chelsea anka ho. Enti mebo Chelsea abaso na mabo PSG for so abaso. E 6 different confederations and e ko piem wo ho anom de 32 clubs koi na 2 clubs we akọ final e wo se me ball mabaso. Obi bi o hwe football. Uyi emotions free ho, uyi bias free ho. And the ball na yebo ni sesi no. Chelsea nie, PSG nie. Eye so clear second. PSG ya de sen Chelsea sesi. Minimo bia obe argue say Chelsea e was so esen Chelsea imprint ya. Based on the kind of football yebo ni sesi. Enti mini nipa dodo na ya adwen say nyame ya adom e kina match be koso no. Team e friend say PSG and ye favorite e was a game we mu. Eye no kre. Ball na yebo no. Say Chelsea ntimi nka nkyeme so ya de sen PSG ya de sen Chelsea. Enti Chelsea era game nim no eye PSG na ye favorite. And yes a PSG for players are omobro Chelsea for no so bebre wo. In terms of individual qualities no, the gap between Chelsea and PSG no enye wide sir. But the difference e wo boku ni ma PSG was ro sen Chelsea no eye one collective play. Se PSG si akan na Chelsea si akan between these two clubs the who say eye well organized understanding was through ye cat teamwork omotu omho ase eye PSG bobuko no so the difference ma PSG nkofo so me favorite was ro say Chelsea no baako eye teamwork PSG teamwork no was ro say Chelsea se ofa PSG bobuko na a proper tactical identity on the field se who say PSG for si akan play according to a proper systematical order. And the PSG for ni si akan a coach insano wo PSG team ne so. Say afina Enzo Maresca no so no gradually Chelsea players no etenase. And between these two clubs, PSG for our proper tactical identity ahead of Chelsea. And a tactical instructions say PSG for ni si akan a say the coach na catch from no timi execute ni ye. Enti sa factors ni na kabom ana obeka say PSG bobuku no e was so send Chelsea because of the kind of football mu display e wa agropama ne so. So we ye no sinchen. Na wo na ro ho na be hwe FIFA Club World Cup ne nko aye bo ne sesi ya. FIFA Club World Cup na aye koso no ye sha ase e besi ne no. O ka PSG ni Chelsea na o use metrics ahodo a ye de analyze teams between Chelsea and PSG every metric e FIFA Club World Cup no e de ma PSG in terms of big chances I create PSG are creating be saying Chelsea on FIFA Club World Cup no wenya 24 Chelsea enya 18 eba big chances are PSG ahead of Chelsea teams are ose goals kese between these two clubs e FIFA Club World Cup PSG are goals saying Chelsea so in terms of attack PSG was throw saying Chelsea e FIFA Club World Cup se over defense kino nim say FIFA Club World Cup PSG are concede 1 goal Chelsea a concede 5 goals. So in terms of defense, PSG sa was through. Say yen crab ball, yen pass ni nyina enti every metric e wo FIFA Club World Cup no e kwa de ma PSG. Enti wo de sa factors we nyina ba together. Ubetima ka say PSG e ye favorite. De bia me wasema meka. Say ye bebo game bia wo de wo favorite. But ye she game na se a bibia timi sesa. That's the reason why ye tag wo say wo ye favorite and no nche say automatically we win game no. Ubetima ye favorite by ye she game na se anyoma timi sesa na wa wo ye favorite ni mpokra no wakwa kolusu so enfa hu se PSG ye favorite no ontimi underrate Chelsea untimi take anything away from Chelsea. Untimi overlook Chelsea, say Chelsea untimi nkoye bibia. So PSG a favorite, but untimi underrated Chelsea bobo say Chelsea. Final no untimi nye bibia. A final game. Ken every final game. Yankobo ba efe. Enya ba efe, enya beautiful football. You make sure see a take moment. No ye the needful. The needful ni say. Ube make sure say. Ube defend very well. Opportunity ni ba no etimi take opportunity. No etimi ashe. Enti PSG betima ko final. Akobobo na efe ni nyina. But when timi an take moment. Now we mistakes. Chelsea betima punish no. That's the reason why I can say football na ye bono. Ye bo final. Final ye ko wini by ye nkonkobo. Enti Chelsea die. Omu red game nim no enyo mo na ye favorite PSG na ye favorite say obi akwa akwohwe say Chelsea betima stop PSG boboku na enne question obi abusa wo because eye PSG boboku a from eye this year eba no oche Liverpool no ahye Liverpool eliminate omo oche Arsenal no eliminate Arsenal oba FIFA Club World Cup oche Atletico Madrid no ama Atletico Madrid 4 UEFA Champions League no ama Inter Milan 5 oba ye waba be Real Madrid 4 wase Bayern 2 enti PSG sia teams akese na obo mo so question akin obi ebusa ne say nyame ya adom akina Chelsea ebetima stop PSG boboku na that's the big question. The first thing I may expect to game no so you Chelsea fan can recently every final biano goalkeepers a key final be a yabo biano goalkeepers a key so say Chelsea betima win sa final we are the first point Robert Sanchez omu goalkeeper no so o check Chelsea boboku na one of omu weakest departments omu goalkeeping department. Robert Sanchez otimi some errors mistakes ahood will be I ekotia Chelsea final game who expect say u goalkeeper ebe ma ne best performance eduru dia who expect say u goalkeeper betima save enti say Chelsea betima win sa game we ya e wasa Robert Sanchez enya ni day sa okosoro eba forma PSG for ne ba attack on be create chances no PSG betima beat Chelsea defensive line se PSG beat Chelsea defensive line na PSG attack no mu create chances na u goalkeeper ne so ye errors a e be ye disaster kese dia ma Chelsea ene se wo bu se obi bi o football say ye bo final Donnarumma nie Robert Sanchez nie eduru dia why na wo gidie so betima save ne club a dodo na be ko dia ma Donnarumma because of the way and it's a final no nyoma be ko ye dia ma Chelsea a the first point Abrante friend say Robert Sanchez say obenya ni day so nyani day a ebetima ko ye dia ma Chelsea now ye nra game nim ni analyze game ne proper ken say offer PSG boboko na omo ye favorite na omo coach Luis Enrique ne ball no obo ni nyina no or emphasize on nyoma miensa one high intensity pressing the toso mienu positional play the toso miensa intelligent rotation. Luis Enrique adia opese time ya ni team ne no na ne style na o use no obobo a efe opese o control ball enti ball na PSG for elbow say no enye the first time I hu say a football club elbow sa ball ni since the ball na PSG for elbow say ni bia be sine the style na PSG for bono the first person now making sure says our style of play we yen dominate play yen build it from the back only foundation no Jimmy Hogan in 1930s Jimmy Hogan invented this style of play no and the Netherlands for ni be so in 1970 and on making sure say on be yen ye am we asking net me accept it. That's the reason why from there you who say NS Harpo you who so bit to say Cruyff aba Pep Guardiola yusu amene Luis Enrique ni PSG for Yusubia. Omo making sure say omo boba efe. And the style of play of PSG, the first thing a possession. Ukosia PSG under Luis Enrique opeso possessable no. Or say the players ni position hu yi. E was a time biano or making sure say ball no omo no play no ebe ye attractive. And to you the 3 piece e football mu under Luis Enrique and PSG. So we 3 piece ni free wa. Time biano pese the game no obo no ball ni be flow. And to a fluidity in the game nim. And what's the players need to me express your home or when that freedom. Na ball no more bon F and also so F miensa. And under Luis Enrique PSG for approach the P3F3 rotation approach. And no as I say omu so uko share PSG. Na when almost style of player who can be so a stop yomo. And so system no use no on the field of play on paper obession the team ne 4-3-3 can't. are you ready for me? PSG for no on paper, 4-3-3. 4-3-3 no, so omo be attack bebre. Se omo attack ya, ne 4 back no, mostly say Hakimi Ashraf. Ana omani ko nanim bebre. Se Hakimi Ashraf anko nanim anko overlap, Amaduwe e move inside that. Or expect Hakimi Ashraf say, oba be come midfielders na no way invert. The moment Hakimi Ashraf be ko nanim no, na chire ho aba back 3 no, Vitinha ebe gino manim pe. Because Vitinha no anebeye the controller, obeye the conductor, obeye direction ni nyina. Enti the flow and the direction na PSG bebo omubo ni nyina no. Player oye anko, player be gina ne so pan no, abrante friend say Vitinha. The moment Vitinha ni be stay deep, obe try so be direct play no. Na abrante friend say Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz so a rotate position amoma push out komanim. Enti recently, so what take you to say Fabian Ruiz penal otimi ko nanim bia na otimi koma o goals because Vitinha obe stay. Not 3 players omo omanim no, Duwe, Dembele and Kvaratskhelia. Omo ye 3 players are the strikerless system. Unye natural number 9, omo movie, omo rotate, and ne kwan omo faso esi o makan. And to this style of play, Emma PSG for create more. Emma PSG for eshe goals a lot. And to say what check omo nipa 5 for mo omo this season. Ken Dembele am 35 goals. Ubenya Bakola wama 21 goals. Kvaratskhelia am 8 goals. Duwe am 16 goals. Gonzalo Ramos no bench am 19 goals. So 5 players we am 99 goals. PSG for 5 players am mudino. Omamo 99 goals because of the style of play omobo. The entire season omabo 64 games. Omashe 168 goals. And to Chelsea kwa share team omo attack, omo control game. Omu create and omu she enti kwan be so and Chelsea befa so as stop PSG. That's the big question. Chelsea ntimi enko dominate play ahead of PSG. E be den say Chelsea beka so omu na be control more ball ne more as in PSG. Enti kwan be so and Chelsea befa so as stop PSG. And Chelsea be win game no. Na Chelsea betimi enya the best Chelsea off ball movements. Chelsea kwan be fast we defend no and beti mama Chelsea e wini anase on wini enye kwan Chelsea be fast attack se okwa Chelsea team na definitely they will create on beti ma anya go by kwan be so no be fast we defend and Nicky and se ukoshia Luis Enrique team ye wo kwan miensa a ye fast so stop Luis Enrique team baako high intensity pressing baako se obesity deep na wa very compact ana baako se ubebiem obo na also so obo na we create 2 chances na we dominate play enti sa kwan miensa we no o ye Chelsea fan abusa won say die na beboa Chelsea so mbetime defend dia Chelsea enko high intensity pressing na Chelsea NCT deep no mo nyusu counter breaking in from BT PSG and asa Chelsea mbiem no mo make sure some to be control ball ni bi sa nyoma miensa we die na beboa Chelsea pa Ken to me I don't see Chelsea say obebie game nim any PSG aboni toe to toe. Se Chelsea ebiem. Oh, but me so me but me hu sa de nse be si wo game nim. By based on Chelsea materials no, I feel say Chelsea will play so betima press PSG for ni very well. And so person press PSG for ni very well. PSG for ni build it from the back. Team be or build it from the back. Ne say o person stop no in terms of pressing na. You use 3DL. 3DL no 3 defensive lines. The first defensive line I was say shall here from front 3. And it is a Chelsea betima press PSG for ni very well. I was at the front 3 of Chelsea Football Club and I said the press and I say. And sa front 3 no, you most likely say Chelsea ebe yusu Joao Pedro, Nkuku and Pedro Neto. Sa 3 players in the best as ya press. Se omo press ya, I was one the intensity of omo pressing I was ro. Untimi nya soft. In pressing, so person stop PSG because omo move ball quick. And it is a person press you omo man kasa half. I was the intensity in was ro. The tosu mienu in oppressing, I was a cover shadow. Cover shadow ni SS me press PSG player. Player no ye PSG ni no crab on say huni niana or mechino. And to soon na sa cover the one echino and your friend cover shadow. So Chelsea use the intensity pressing, I was almost a cover shadow. The moment to meet my side, no players no more Chelsea a PSG say ombe progressive no at the press abeto omuso. Either say ombe ko back way a back pass sideways ombe long balls and also ombe lose possession. That's the first and the most important thing. the moment a Chelsea front three ni betima press very well no o expect Chelsea midfielders ni say on be close down Vitinha, Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz penna and the duty of Chelsea midfielders ni so be sadie no. That's the reason why I yes say oh yeah high press na and was say a coordinated, well calculated timing and I believe little space. And to say Chelsea betima press very well and was say a shot here from any more for no. Say Chelsea to me a press very well. A bit my boy Chelsea bobuku no and impressing a was a munina mo kabum et said ye mu pushika some ye nipa 5 na mu pushika na nipa mienu to am ho se omu pushi a muntimi pushi ni yi by some munina mo kabum na mu pia dia mutimi pushi ni yi enti say Chelsea bet me akọ for the press na e be ye kwan a Chelsea team nyina betima press say Chelsea ka so on press obesha ase so obesity deep na wa allow PSG for na build it from the back no ma stop PSG for from the midway and so be use the two defensive line. It means that Chelsea front line no players from wenim ho Joao Pedro Nkuku and Pedro Neto. Ombe drop ya banfinfin. Omo drop banfinfin omba beka Kopama, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. Na Chelsea enya numerical central numerical advantage. And omba benya more players e won finfin ho because already with 3 players from wenim ho no oma drop and oma beka 3 midfielders no. And Chelsea benya 6 e won finfin ho. Se Chelsea person omo use sa compact block na in defending a compact block no e was making sure say we retain compactness se ukogu we chiro bebre na still na ni ntokro we chiro ha opponent ni betime biem and one reason why e to dey be a Real Madrid for timi defend wo mechiro won say players ni na egu achiro by opponent etimi biem ni say omo ntimi retain compactness and say o ye Chelsea na on press Obe allow PSG for say omon build it from the back. Omon fen free omechiro en fambre anymore. But obe stop you from the midway. Now when you close to defenders now, I was to retaining spatial compactness and a player compactness. The space in between the players, I was say you close. The space are ube livuno, I was to me avoid it. And it's a Chelsea be defended deeper. I was to me retaining compactness. Can PSG for a teamer omo pay space. Omo pese omo do omo passes in the creative chances. And team be open space be and so person stopping now. You use the space oriented zonal marking. Space oriented zonal marking no the processor who defend here, unshare player, unshare ball by available spaces no utretia. Et said the auto dame, we piano to utretia auto. And it's available spaces in no close because who could share PSG. Kvaratskhelia pay space. Doué pay space, Dembele pay space, Hakimi Ashraf pay space. Even on more passes, no passing lane na Vitinha and Joao Neves be use no a space. And to the moment I be use space oriented zone marking no, who close all the available spaces. So ball into me ba u D zone. D zone is danger zone. And two bonds on be pass ball now around so by into me ba half. A chance of close the available spaces. Chelsea be here sadie no. Now what your stories? Only kweku kasa no PSG for no epe boy de rani. O say Hakimi Ashraf say omo rani bebre. Team out the ball running bebre no o markina yenhwe player no because o running o rotate o interchange position enti fa ne se me ye adara bi eyo ne ye se me mark Dembele ngina ni ho na makokolosi no obekọ left obekọ right enti me kase me follow na me make space e wo ma kire ho PSG for no betima utilize enti se ukosia team a omo ye quick omo quick feet omo running with the ball omo ye a lot of rotation and interpositional player who close your man na wo mark your man ye hwe ball adia ba ko ebi ti Real Madrid no Rudiger eba player so a eye player no ko he no enye ball no enti time ya ne se ball ni bi ti player ne pe afa ne ho by se ukosia PSG ti ni sesi a ye akwesi broni be kase ball oriented marking menhwe player no menhwe ne nan by focus on the ball position ne ba bi a ball ni be move ne ho na de wa adwen be ko. And to Chelsea be say here ball oriented. How won't bet me a stop boss no? Emma boss need to me movie. And to Chelsea be here sad year way now to stop PSG bobo no. No matter make sure say be apply the principles of defending. One important thing of principles of defending is support and defensive cover. And the PSG for the ring so you Dembele etimi fa ho, Hakimi Ashraf etimi fa ho, Kvaratskhelia etimi fa ho. Sir Reece James never bought the right back. Se Kukureya na bebo right back a untimi nja adwuma ni nyina emfensi omoso ombe hia support Chelsea fullbacks ni be hia defensive cover no metimi stop PSG for on the wings by the key moments the key areas the midfield battle Vitinha Joao Neves Fabian Ruiz ken omon technician omon ni mbo ni kura omon ni mbo ni passe Enzo Caicedo Kopama uyi kopa me friwa Caicedo ni Enzo Fernandez physically aggression was so ente ye two different style of playing ye be hu mfimfin ho then how Chelsea be continue wings no ente ye game back a on paper ken PSG for no and ye favorite by say Chelsea to turn nyoma ye no mu follow instructions no mu ye discipline omo avoid the errors Chelsea so opportunity errors very important PSG for ne press very well and say Chelsea players ni crabo na omo panic na omo a lot of mistakes PSG for be punish omo enti mo obi an write Chelsea off Chelsea stay discipline final game final game and in final game every detail very important but on paper ultimately take anything away from PSG. Okay. PSG for your favorite by me obi an write Chelsea for ne off
War Kwame Jela on PSG aye Chelsea as again we remu ye pa me hu ko pa my interview bia there's no ka say PSG the best team nemum emobi aremfi say aye final players be bre wadwen say final ye details kakra bibia timisi because aye one of game ya pon
me kra de menka final me ka say one of games bia ehu we'll do our analysis based on previous occurrences. But the basic game in the be beat Mrs. Just like we were saying, one red card and one set pieces can change the game. And one decision from a player can change the game. And I agree. One of games a day. But one thing we are also forgetting to say, Chelsea knows how to play finals, yes. But the last final, we as a PSG surprised all of us. They did not just win, they played well. Proper football. In Simon Common Mubiepa, Ken, that's say football growing up. There is a traditional concept to say, over a 3-man midfielder, you should have a tackler, you should have a controller, you should have a creator. I get 3. What's it say 4-3-3 bianwa? The traditional understanding of football is that one of your defenders, one of your midfielders should be someone or bet the ball, attack it. Bako, I was so controlling game no demao. Bako, I was so a crazy chance at the mount. That's the traditional way of a 3-man midfield. Now, Ken, I dare to ask, say, how we define a traditional 3-man midfield? Vitinha, Joao Neves, Fabian Ruiz. Why an air tackler was our midfield? Metuma dress in Yemani bebre so. Because if you're careful and analyze the Paris Saint-Germain team, there are things we are as a sakakra. And that is why it is important that Chelsea looks at these details. Because sa 3-man midfielders we who naturally do a tackler, yet we say are the best midfield in Europe. To Chelsea, we know say Caicedo is solid, young ball. But for no money, natural tackler, yet they are the best midfield in Europe. Okay, let me take you back. 2014-2015 season, Luis Enrique Simunwa a Champions League with Barcelona. No, Sergio Busquets was around about 26 at time. No, Javi Hernandez about 35. Iniesta no about 31. That midfield plus Ivan Rakitic kakra played well, controlled game from Kankring to Kankring, won the Champions League. So ask yourself, say, then Luis Enrique that traditional way of 3-man midfield or said they need natural tackler, yet we say his teams play well, they control games well, they have the best midfield.
Ono Caicedo mone besuma mo oni sanko for be omom bujejem fin ahode
David
oni ahode for be
David yet the team will be higher say the team now the best midfield
because how fine and ball Rakitic obo aye Niesta
Busquets
and obo Busquets and Naja Vitinha.
Ask yourself why. Let me give you similarities. Sa team, you know. Na a son say, coach, you know. Why realize this? Say, the midfielders, no, they cannot tag the ball, you know. Tackle you know. The idea was that goalkeeper Jibola, make sure you are looking at Hodi Alba or Danny Alves first. Inti Saboni Bedi, right fullback, left fullback, wa. Quickly they get the ball to the forward place. Neymar, Messi. Okay. This Paris Saint-Germain team, se goalkeeper for boa, attacker infa. It goes to either Hakimi or Nuno Mendes. Hakimi get the ball to the forwards, Doi, Dembele or Kivicha Kvaratskhelia. Emubako. Meboa. Isn't it another similarity there? Saba Satim, no. They had Dani Alves and Hodi Alba, who were at that time the best fullbacks in the world. And they Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, the best fullbacks in the world. Meboa. There seemed to be some line of how Luis Enrique, Nenema and Abasa, and the Oye Nisisi. Now, and as a Yamia Duma, or it's a game no shasia. Saboni di Donnarumma wa. And Pempi ni someone yamo build up. Bonsa Hakimi we biem. Now Nuno Mendes ebie, but most times he's looking at Hakimi first. Now enemy feel say if Chelsea are not careful, they will start the game wrong. And let me explain to you why. Here, pressing wohu. Something you do consistently. And answer what perfect. You cannot use 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, and from perfect pressing. See here, a repetitive action. The more you do, the more you understand. Because idea a coordinated there. One player, one mistake, the entire pressing game off. Now, Senepar, Yamia Duma game no chance. Na PAG for no for ball. Na se Chelsea send Yesiaki can go and press them. If they do press PAG for, can we show the match Chelsea? If they go all out, in fact, I'm not too sure it work. And let me give you 2 examples. Mame, Madrid the game, no, and I said by when they start showing me pictures. I mean, me more 2 examples of the game. Can where your PAG versus Bayern Munich? Hakimi and a ball ni bedini ho, and a Bayern Munich for air pressing to say go and press them. The PAG for no press or more betting yadi. Then quickly they all went to them. Can you show television no swa? Amu press o mana bakola mo be fa ball from the middle. And me share me better okay. Move on to the next game. The next example. PSG Real Madrid. Infonia mi yichira any the other one, any the same thing. Hakimi gets the ball, you press them, then one of their attackers drops. And now about picking the 1-2. Inti 1-2 pass no koya where you place in frame. So go back to the first example and show this example and see something. Can't coach you. Here first one no. Against Bayern Munich. Can't boni bedi Hakimi wa. It drops you inside. Na waba no mabobo no dia tuchi. Okay. Yanko the next one I had here. Inti wo pressing ya coordinated na one mistake ba. Then PAG for any more numbers. Chain wo. Ewa the Kent next one. When you more numbers, a chain wo ewa the attacking phase. This is against Real Madrid. Where end of the share third goal. Call the next one against Bayern Munich. So another example so soon the same thing. This is against Bayern Munich. Also so omanya numbers are more attacking Bayern Munich. It me feel say Ken. Pressing is not the only way you can stop Paris Saint-Germain. If Chelsea gets their pressing game 100%, many problem. But me sure say it's 100%, sir. Because you can start your pressing game well, but how are you going to do that for 9-10 minutes against them? It's my solution for these things. And they say, look, Chelsea can be more compact, and that will be more reliable than going out full out to press Paris Saint-Germain for. No? Because PSG team, now one day empire day. Share Luis Enrique team I'll build you a Barcelona. No, now one day. Messi not on your speedster. Neymar not on your speedster. Sao their strengths not a dribbling. This team, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Desire Doe, Dembele, their strength is what pace. Until space. If you look at the profiles, then you begin say, and if I want to map up a strategy against them, what do I do? Because a winger now one day by a dribbling, I need to get close to him. Remember, what the bicho yasi? Send your and the 9 ball no, you are always close. But sa winger no, sana one day by a Mikatua. Then you have to watch the space. Profiles then make sure the kind of way you should defend. If you are defending against Desire Doe, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, you are looking at the spaces. Because Obia, now one day, epe space, there as a vampire be, Nediane ye moja. Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Nediane ye den, almost space an obo. Desire Doe, almost space an obo. So why do you want to give them space? What pressing be too higher? More defenders so bow when him because I coordinated. Intercessor who bow in him. Now wait a high line there to a and this Chelsea should prevent it because Chelsea need defenders. Mesa Chaloba, Levi Cowell, Tosin Adarabia, whoever plays, any defenders you can rely on them fully. Tosin, Levi Cowell, Chaloba, game on one bopa, a game with Chelsea, a compact, which you know, so utilize your player strength. First of all, Chelsea needs to draw their defensive line.
Chelsea strength here.
Chelsea
strength because now me how I met me handle that boy Pedro Neto, the American.
Pedro Neto. Ken, Chelsea build up. Anyhow, PSG for press. PSG for strongest assets. How Dembele starts the pressing. Now against Inter Milan, Dembele press ya ma Yan Soma baby not Oshe Dembele say ya. He was surprised. And now Thibaut Courtois said the same thing. Because Obebo goal kicker, send ya kwana si bejina line so ha neni na Osha no. Are dangerous. Now one thing about Dembele's press, which is very interesting and unique, and they say Dembele almost straight away. Coach, in fact, before the game, he will tell you what to do. Inti Dembele person no either say or quite diagonal into no be force amwa pass ya ko baby a one person be pass. For instance, let me give you an example. About the Chelsea team. He analyzed the Chelsea team. Defender Ben a boni bedin wa or you're uncomfortable. Say Trevor Chaloba, okay, and the Dembele, what press ya, make sure say goalkeeper and for ball name Levi Cowell. Force the goalkeeper to give the ball to Trevor Chaloba. Inti, that is how the game is. Inti say, I am here Dembele here and the pressing and Yami Aduma game start here. Or China pressing motion ye. He does not go direct. Obe caught baby or be force one more passing ball nediako. Inti Kwaya so a pressing no very dangerous. Now let's analyze and open up the game. Say Chelsea, first of all, say Chelsea here build up. Robert Sanchez or Pasiana. Because the build up starts with the goalkeeper. Chelsea, they've been very fortunate to say tournaments where I we Chelsea build up will be a 3-2-5. 3-2-5. It has always been like that. But it sounds like opposition no ensure that strong into the last 2 games. Chelsea are alternate system now in 3-1-6 because the opponents do not press them. This is going to be the first game. Chelsea be opponents and be press pa. Robert Sanchez, passing in the king. Passing in the. And I'm not comfortable with tossing Adrabio on the ball if he's being pressed by Dembele. I am also not comfortable with Levi Cowell around the ball if he's being pressed by Dembele. If Chelsea a Chilewo for no, or when you're too comfortable if you press them, then there is no need to be passing the ball from the back every time. Sometimes they need to go long. Now, so how long will conversation and me feel say maybe I'll answer a question about Pedro Neto. Ken, look, the reality woman say PH4 weakest point here Omochiro. Meka Omochiro me the Hakimi ne Nuno Mendes ebe kan waka some dia Chelsea. Hakimi coach na man unique role, free role number 2 one man chance so to me rotate bia. Into most times or banichia or check akra. And that is quite normal because so inipa. Na meka sa de sisi say Marquinhos, Lucas Barado, if you attack them well, omobre. Game a season way team PG4 Brepa was the game against Aston Villa, second leg, you know. Now, it is a Chelsea back longer. I feel say Pedro Neto, Joao Pedro will be very crucial in this game. As I said, by this time, coach, you know, I'm not born in the mouth Robert Sanchez. So Robert Sanchez or being present on more born into space. Because Marquinhos, the ball if you more befa. But if you put the ball at 2 space, Pedro Neto was American one or making your head to omo. See, minim how Robert Sanchez is going to do that because he needs to be very accurate. Say born long, no one money year, na Marquinhos mo fa ball na pet. Then Bona Sanso Abedi Paris Saint-Germain or follow. Na omo now. Now, Ken. Menya. What about Pedro Neto first 9? I was thinking about this. Joao Pedro on the left. Maybe Kopama Sanama 10. Na wrestling, okay, maybe in Nkunku, so fine. Because as I said, Chelsea now run a winning war. Marquinhos more comfortable with players to make a baby.
Marquinhos you'll be into me attacking.
Because
why are comfortable?
Very comfortable. Very comfortable.
Players so strong with you.
Yeah.
We don't know pass well, but pressure ban so you mistakes.
Pressure ban is why mistakes. And so make us say, analyze on one move. So that is their weakest point. If that is the weakest point, sir, I was say Chelsea you'll be able to make. If Joao Pedro is going to run, no problem. But Pedro Neto, he's been consistent. He said, Otrumika Bebre. They are tossed to you. I feel say Chelsea should utilize set pieces. In terms of gameplay, it looks like it's going to be very difficult. But Chelsea set pieces ever play crucial role in game way home. Because set pieces is game momentum. PSG might be playing very well. If Chelsea gets one corner, one free kick, or Bobo Onisha momentum nasa. That is how football is. In set pieces, you know, Chelsea would have to take advantage of it because Chelsea tossing Adarabia yo owa, Levi Cowell owa, omo players are born no enem yema, omo pa umbeti miabo. So one advantage is that. Nakin, Sanka Romeo Lavia bebo boni bia. I would say Chelsea for be handle ko for ne kakra. Because man Enzo Maresca game na how bonnet o shut half team bia no a. Obo Romeo Lavia no obo Moises Caicedo no the Enzo ato number 10 no the Kopama ko wings wo ente sa okay so Romeo Lavia mo bo ni bia otabo James e won fifin obi enti ekoya me to say and I fear for Chelsea if they do Moises Caicedo Enzo me not too sure I'm not too comfortable with that. Maybe we are going to see James Moises Caicedo na Enzo as number 10, maybe Kopama on the wings. Now, Malo Gusto, I'm not too comfortable with him, but the reason why probably coach would want to allow him play in the pace.
Okay.
Which is very important because central defensive area or Chelsea one very important because one Dembele on more as a number 9. They be or dropper, no a befa ball. Or befa ball no a tendency. That double pivot for Chelsea, no, very important. Whoever plays, you know. Hey, baby, I make sure kakra. Last one, nimsa ombre. Timer coach ni ba and Luis Enrique ba PG, you know. One of criticisms are near the man say, PG for first half among yadi. they were struggling to score goals. Into the first 19 Champions League games, 19 Champions League games. Now PSG for 13 of them first half no much go. So then the criticism got to the coach, and also best son. Okay. The last 17, 9 of them, you start your first 20 minutes or so go. Now, I'm not going to go deep. And I know against Inter Milan, Hakimi go about time being 12 minutes. And I know against Atletico Madrid, Fabian Ruiz go no the same time. And I know against Real Madrid, Fabian Ruiz go no about time being first 20 minutes. Ken, say you took quite no. Na say Paris Saint-Germain na ebe start game no a. Some nyina ma mu say na PSG for start game no. Omo ya no mabobọ na dey atutru. Quickly na afei omo ba be go one area no ma start omo pressing game no. Until your first 20 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain is very important. If Chelsea do not start the game well, because you cannot chase PSG woman is one or show 2. Now, because after na obe chase game no, you will end up losing the game 5-0. Me pa chote me come and say, it is better say who Chelsea who be say na PSG for na ba onim so we are coming to score. I want to cry about Chelsea say Chelsea can defend. Now from a catch on a counter break. But some PSG for the show early in the first 20 minutes. Now workers okay after them be a big game no ma ba. Why when you na anko ya farm. So first 20 minutes very important. No need for Chelsea to be opening and doing pressing. Sir, absolute pressing. I'm not sure because Chelsea cannot be consistent without pressing for 90 minutes. Chelsea should stay compact because Trevor Chalobah, Levi Cowell, Cucurella, Ray James, Moise Caicedo, so Bob a timer system no ama Chelsea I am more compact. Chelsea can hurt Paris Saint-Germain via counter attacks. Okay. If Chelsea opens up all my spaces eto echirewa come on be say PSG for be show
eno Edolson enso edian no ma bigi mra ye wi ba fie na ye ba bedidum komo bebre bigi se boko biem de
nyame adum bibia boko.
Okay, to so mame
Kwame ne kwaku aka a lot about the Paris Saint-Germain Chelsea game.
Okay.
Ade ba ko pe and I make fa ho na makwa that stories so coach bia won a philosophy me jitum sa. There are a lot of coaches in the system now. Omo feel say the best way to defend is to attack because when a lot of the balls are won't mean hurt. But then again, there are also coaches who feel say the best way to defend is also to defend and defend very well. And me feel say against Paris Saint-Germain, say open results, CCR. The best way to get the results is to defend and defend well. Make us because in 2025, every January, ebepem samri. Paris Saint-Germain Bobo in all competitions can lose 5 matches. 5 matches now PSG lose no. E mu be anyone more team no any PSG boy no or dominate Paris Saint-Germain or the winner here. There be omu jaima Paris Saint-Germain bo. No more defending omu lines and defending the game. Paris Saint-Germain lose to Liverpool. Liverpool bought 30% of the game. And a Paris Saint-Germain ball possession bought 70. Olusi about to Aston Villa Olusi 3-2. Aston Villa bought 34% of the game and a Paris Saint-Germain board yakano. Nice Paris Saint-Germain Lucy to Omo about 24% only of ball possession. Strasbourg about 36% against Paris Saint-Germain. And after team my friend say Botafogo Ken our club World Cup anymore. And so share Paris Saint-Germain 1-0 or share PSG 1-0 no on also only 25% of the ball possession and or winning 1-0. It is a Chelsea per results against Paris Saint-Germain. They have to make sure so we be defend your more lines, no more defend it very well, and they beat the results and I Chelsea. Can moving on. Club World Cup, no, there are teams are very the Amomo. Real Madrid is one of those teams. Until there are certain decisions I can't want some more. Coach a friend says Abi Alonso. Baba be taking his decisions in this year. Decisions now coach and Baba be taking certain positions our Madrid team. We talked about it the last time. Say the left back position one of those positions. It's Omoko Club World Cup. No, na player friend say Frank Garcia enim say you justify your inclusion and okwa so person will stay Real Madrid bobo ko no nya bi bo time mu bia Abrante any call club World Cup no he was one of the best performers for Real Madrid wan fa nya akwadro wa yini ye mo bobo no aboni ye pa e dia Madrid bobo ko no Madrid film Ferland Mendy anya opportunity and back club World Cup ni because of injuries and the coach na ntimi assess no but still the coach has to take a decision say between Ferland Mendy and Frank Garcia obeyi mu baako say oyi mu baako a looking at ball na Frank Garcia kwa ball club World Cup ni no e be ye den so obeyi Ferland Mendy ahead of him and the coach na decide say obeyi you see the oba beto ye e wo Real Madrid bobo ko nim and the odi na ne hu and odi be take this particular decision the oba beto ye ne den obeto e Ferland Mendy a wanya fit am farmer Real Madrid last season Ferland Mendy in the Spanish La Liga ebo be 14 matches and the Real Madrid bobo ko no injuries ha Abrante ni throughout the season enti coach ni gidie so Abrante ni betimi aye fit no stay consistent the Real Madrid bobo ko no that is number 1. Number 2 Ferland Mendy na ye di ni home komo no a lot of people forget that akwada ni mfie so ko animu Ken Ferland Mendy was 30 years as a footballer enti coach Xabi Alonso feel say so be pick Ferland Mendy there obe trade you onu ni mum a player injury say ha no what 30 years obe ma omu ni mum akọ no wa fa Abrante friend say Frank Garcia who is 25 years no wa fa Alvaro Carreras and so the naka ho 22 years relatively age e wo mrante mienu we side e chan Ferland Mendy no and share that enjoy a very good game and as a good games before coach na eba na injury senso so ha no na nkomo Abrante so akọ ne say obe person obe tena Real Madrid bobo ko no fighting for a position he feels say defensively or very solid and the Abia the left wing back na onya bi mo a na dwen ya ne say obetimi anya the left center back position and so about the Real Madrid bobo ko no pen komo ne namfofo akodi but then again me so me tena ase a me hweye edi nkomo kakra ye nhwehwemu kakra no me feel say akwada ni position no person about the left center back ken so about the center back rule you need a bit of height Real Madrid defenders ni nyina uyi Frank Garcia na uyi Cavaja every one mo a omo maka ni nyina obia tenten anasa ne height e was so the chain Ferland Mendy there it's that kind of mindset akwala no so anya no ne height e be ye problem and so the amano it's quite unfortunate say bia na coach ni decision o baba be take ne there Ferland Mendy and Madrid akuma no e be ka no amana free the left back position no make you way for other players omo betimi aba no baba be bo moving on. Se Chelsea bobo ko ni ready so beton Nicolas Jackson no ka omo plans ho Chelsea has to tell the world sa Abrante no on tom ne mo ka omo plans ho me can we because yen set player price tag keke just because player na ni na wa bobo bia keke dia to player no so there be you look at the performance of the player quality of player na the back on board on and even off the field and yema bebre na account to that player na nkasa Uyibo na obonum ni free one more. Who ton player na ye to. Not all turners in say oh make a move. Nemum Jesse sells any a lot of things. And Ohasa money nyina. Now they are pricey player no. Nicolas Jackson season that ebowie no. Open the top 20 scorers in the English Premier League. Now Nicolas Jackson and Kahonken. He wasn't part among the top 20 scorers. English Premier League. There are other players among your number 9s. They had numbers than player friend is Nicolas Jackson. Imbuemo is a typical example. Yan Wisa is an example. Yenya Chris Wood no more so number 9 so more de money konkan. Alexander Isak no. Any other players are omunya extraordinary season English Premier League no. But a lot of these players prices are yet for no around 50 to 70. It is why I was doing over Tony Nicolas Jackson. Now over 100 million. Me ametiano no me feel say when you ready so over Tom Abrante no. Nemum kana untimi nkanche wiase. Enti Chelsea nya firm on their decision. Say Nicolas Jackson is a striker omo ne pe. Na Abrante ne ka omo plans ho. Omo nya ready so omo ton Abrante no enso amanako. Omo kana sa wiase nyina beti ase. Na omo ye interested na stay off. Than say omo dey an outrageous price tag. 100 million pounds. And the two Abrante friend say Nicolas Jackson so because the price tag was too much for suitors omo be ready. So me baba be fa Abrante no. Ken I am very happy say and now me hu ye and also ma ye hu ye say team my friend say Barcelona officially omu coach my friend say Hansi Flick e share a goalkeeper Andre ter Stegen and in a dim komo aka chain plane say you run a season more on your part of the plans e Barcelona bobo konim previously na branch any didi nkomo won chen say ono ne de onti obi a case because Barcelona mpanifo no omo ye adwuma no obi antimi ma na nemu mabie na no enka nche de say onka omo plans ho obeti nsem bia na ye radio so obeti nsem bia na ye TV so obeti nsem bia na ye newspapers mu the various tabloids emu no oba ba beti nsem say Barca nya ready so no ne be ye adwuma but de bia me kase sa asamri fo obi ho na se won ben nipa ne nka nche na de nipa ne beti won chen bi ono ne pa na ode ye adwuma. It's officially in former coach na share player no maka che ne say you read the new season more on come plans on. It's now you have to take a decision upon the wire dia ma Barcelona nyina enye we na oba begina so dia say legacy for the Barcelona club. You've been a long servant for Barcelona, a very good one for that matter. What boama boboko na jiji nkru wa bebre ababa be do that kind of stage abasa feel say baby omo person omo ko direction na omo ko no omo ntimi ne won to aso nko sa direction no because the oba ye dia ma boboko ni nyina wa ye dia wie yakofa nwanga ase aba a oba ba be ye number 1 Chesney ebe renew the contract a oba ye number 2 it is oba new opportunity in Paul Barcelona boboko ni mo a you are going to be the third choice and menya sure say e be fit the standards of a Ter Stegen performance award dynedy the consistency he's had in his football career any ade no say akwa ba say we say free boboko ni because omu choose other players over you are. This is the time the player has to leave. Man ntena Barcelona boboko nim say chinchina etwan oni ba bia akọ say na won tie and nti na take that decision now officially you approach you aka che te adwuma na ye baba be project na ye be ye obasa no ye ntimi mfa won ka ho akwantu no won ka ho biem eti afi wo so si form every bas nim na Barcelona boboko ne to aso a onsi man mbetwini twinchan na legacy na wa build wo Barcelona no on fa due few months and at dates and fan say that legacy our build wo Barca ken we have story about Samu Omorodion and he's one player anytime I hear about him I get very happy. I get happy because nipa kakra bi na betimi ato form wo abrabom not due to whatever circumstances I am so more tough form no o ma overcome some circumstances no ma sorry ejina omo na so say omo be fight no ma get back to the best of form and after whatever they were doing Abrantia will see so I was Spanish La Liga from Granada and onya opportunity and Atletico Madrid kotono Atletico Madrid tono na no de ma loan to Alaves sa season one she goals bebre wala Liga nim no kre but no na Alaves top scorer with 8 goals in that season. It will share 8 goals ma Alaves no and any kakra ba no Chelsea went in so mo kwa kopa Abrantia no. He is a player, not Chelsea supporter be abofu. So I'm peno because I'm feel say akwada na nya ne more mon konkan. And now unti blame the Chelsea supporters because at that time na Chelsea feel say based on strikers some about team ne ko in the past and come deserve a better striker than Samu Omorodion because no a player only the Spanish under 23 team Ako Olympics not a bench for the under 23 ono na no mo kwa fa na so starting for Chelsea na supporters nempe obey medicals for Chelsea and e ba ye say epra e wa Abrantia ni kotodwem and na Chelsea supporters ni na bo say because yempe and na oba epra sa ba beda ne ho adi and ye danyame asepa akwada na bemambo he granted an interview say eye ne ya one of the worst times in the career. He's had a bad season after say and make that move atiatum. But since he went to FC Porto. They give him the opportunity. Season year open one of the best players in the Portuguese league account. The only player who goes to channel Jokeres. On a Pavlidis, Obiasha 19 goals. Omumian Naneda Jokeres. Even Pavlidis played more matches than Samu Omorodion. Pavlidis bought 34 games and Omorodion bought 30. But yet on any goals pay. Aside and in the Europa League, where make us a second tier European competition, big players Ekwakoshia Onobiacha and Modemono. Abrantia was among the second top scorers in Europa League. Bruno Fernandes, Eshe 7. Kasper Hogg, Eshe 7. These were players who share goals and the chair Abrantia Fernandes Samu Omorodion. Or share 6 goals in Europa after playing 9 matches for your FC Porto. It's upon their 2 Nino. Abrantia na bemuemu we making sure so obegina ne na so no fight it to get back to the best of form. Now after omo no munyini ni say he's a good player no omo genedi and he's done that very well. This is the stage in this one relente. Adia Parko di wa Brabumpa is to maintain the status when you get to the top. So we do through one any problem. But what drew through one when consistency of the best stay was wrong and a problem. It's now unproven Chobia. Say one season wonder and a wanya Nemo is ready to take over European football at the top level. Just to prove those are not doubting or no wrong. Say he's a good player again.
Since I see a friend Agahoa and Omuru Jumbi.
Yes.
Agahoa.
Yes, sir, or Nigerian and ni krom din no it was decided so they no benantia it is good unforce na neman kon kan ma no because I'm very very happy for him anytime I hear good news about the player Ken.